Oh, we're live. Hi, everybody. That's nice, huh? It's very calm. It's very calm. I'm feeling very calm today. Very calm. Feeling a little funky, too. You can be calm and funky at the same time. Oh, yes, you can. Hi, everybody. Good morning, Vietnam. Quý vị đang xem từ đâu vậy? If you're watching from the United States, let me see a 1. If you're watching from Vietnam, you know what to do. 2. Oh, I like that music. I'm digging that. Are you digging that? We got someone from Seattle. She was on here early too. Hello, Seattle. Sleepless in Seattle. Sleepless in Seattle. We got some 2s. Oh, yes. Good morning. Hello, my buddy Fat. And of course, my buddy Jim Rotter. Got people from Massachusetts. Hello, Lynn. Ooh. Vui nha. Vui. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I really like this music. Okay, turn it down. Turn it down. Okay. Wow. How does that feel? Does that feel good? How does the sound? Can you hear me clearly? Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear? Okay. We got Nina here. We got Michael. Michael's digging it. All right. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Maga. All right. We have a great little video for you tonight, because this will affect a lot of people. And so many people are confused about long-term care and long-term care insurance. People often just throw that around. Nhưng mà there is a difference between long-term care insurance and then long-term care coverage. What? What are you talking about? I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. In comments, do you understand what long-term care insurance is? If you do, say yes. If you don't, say N. N for no. Let's be honest here, okay? Everyone has heard of it. Do you really know what it is? Huh? Does anyone know what it is? Long-term care insurance. Do you have it? A lot of people don't. So we're going to explain long-term care insurance. Okay? First, we're going to discuss what it is. What the heck is it? How much does it cost? People ask me all the time, how much does it cost? Is it worth it? Oh, well, that's a whole nother conversation. Okay? And then, are there other options? And why would you want other options? Okay. So we've got kind of even yes and no. Okay? So some people have heard about it. Some people haven't. Some people have heard and really don't understand what it is. I bet you a lot of people think they know what it is and they don't. So what is it? What is long-term care insurance? Okay, LTC insurance. It helps pay for long-term care like nursing homes, hospice care, adult daycare, in-home assistance with activities of daily living. Activities of daily living. This is what you have to pay attention to, because that is going to affect whether you're covered. What are ADLs? Activities of daily living. Eating. That most of these are very easy to understand. Can you feed yourself? Okay, mình tự đúc mình ăn được không? Okay, toileting. Can you go to the toilet by yourself? That includes being able to get on and off the toilet. Okay? Như vậy là mình đi toilet một mình được không đó? Transferring It's like moving, mobility. Can you move? Can you transfer yourself? Okay, moving around. Bathing. Can you take a bath or a shower by yourself without assistance? Dressing. It doesn't mean whether or not you know how to dress. It's can you dress yourself? Mình tự thay áo quần cho mình được không đó? Okay, mặc đẹp hay không không thành vấn đề. Okay, and continence. Cái này tiếng Việt, I don't know how to say it in Vietnamese. Nhưng mình control được, mình không có cần phải mang tả đó. That's what that is. Okay? So these are the activities of daily living. Remember these. Because a lot of the people I help in getting this kind of coverage requires that you can't do 2 of the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If 2 of them you cannot do, the policies that I'm helping people get will cover it. So, thực sự, it doesn't matter mình bệnh cái gì. It doesn't matter why. It could be an accident. It could be cancer. It could be a stroke. It could be anything. But if you can't do 2 of the 6, okay. How much does it cost? Well, according to the American Association for Long-Term Care Insurance, AALCI, okay, the average. So if you live in a really awesome place, it's going to be higher, okay? But the average cost for a 60-year-old male is $1,200 a year for $165,000 worth of coverage. For a woman of the same age, for the same coverage, it's going to cost her $1,960. What? It's kind of like when you go to the salon and they want to charge females more. There's a reason. It is because women tend to live longer. And if you live longer, that means you're probably going to need long-term care. That's why it's more expensive for females. Look, you can also buy a joint policy. So if you're married and you're both 60, then you can buy $165,000 of coverage for $2,550 a year, $2,550. However, it's cheaper that you buy it together, but the coverage is for both of you, not each of you. Okay, so that $165,000, that would cover both of you. Okay. Oh, this is small. I'm going to go full screen so you can take a look. Okay? Go to full screen so you can see. These costs go up over the years. Okay, so your long-term care insurance policy can actually factor in future inflation costs by like adding 1 to 5% to the benefits each year. Of course, if you do that, it will increase your rates. It will be more expensive. But if you do that, it'll help offset inflation growth. Okay, inflation, I think more and more people are realizing that it's a huge problem. That's why I always tell you, your money just sitting in there in the bank, why? You're losing money. Tại vì sao? Inflation. Okay? So the cost of everything will go up. All right. Know that long-term care insurance costs may increase over the years, and those rates, okay, can really go up significantly. So that means just because you buy it doesn't mean the rate will stay the same for the next 20 or 30 years. They can go up. Chances are they will, and it could go up pretty high. So let's take a look at the factors that affect the cost of long-term care insurance. Your age. Costs increase as you age. The older you get, the more it's going to cost. The younger you buy the coverage, the less you will pay for it initially. Remember, they'll go up. Your health. If you have pre-existing conditions, just like if you want to try to get life insurance, you may get denied, or they could charge you more for coverage. So you will end up paying more than a person of the same age who is healthy. Okay? Your gender. Again, women pay higher long-term care insurance rates because we live longer. We live longer, and therefore we are more likely to need long-term care. The amount of coverage, clearly, obviously. Okay, that's going to affect how much it costs. When you buy long-term care insurance, there are things in your policy like a preset daily limit and maximum of benefits, okay? There's also a period of time where you may have to wait before you can even take advantage of or be covered, okay? Okay. Riders. Riders are things that are extra. Okay, like that inflation thing. If you want for it to consider inflation, you're going to have to pay a little more for that. That's additional coverage. Remember that if it's individual or a joint coverage, on average, joint coverage will cost less per person. But remember that, like if you buy a $165,000 policy, that's for both of you, not each of you. And of course, the company. Just like other types of insurance, rates will vary by the company. Okay? Rates will vary by the company. Okie dokie. Why is long-term care insurance so expensive? Does anyone know the answer? Hello? You should. Long-term care insurance can be expensive because long-term care is expensive. This is so small. I'm getting old. I can't read it. Full screen so you guys can see it too. Look at this. Okay, we're going to take a look here at the type of care and the average cost you'd be paying without insurance. We're talking average, people. Average. Okay, so some places and some people will find that it costs less than this, and some will find that it costs more than this. Holy moly, is that what average means? Okay. Here are the factors that can affect the cost of long-term care. We're not talking about the insurance. We're talking about the care. Okay? The type of care. The type of care. The duration. That's of course. Okay? Providers where you live. Like if you live in, I don't know, depending on where you live, it might be reasonable. See, but I live in California. Nothing is reasonable out here. And I'm talking about more than prices, But I'm telling you, it's going to also depend on where you live, the providers where you live, the time and day that the care is needed. Okay. Let me tell you something that's really sad. So I have talked to a few families where they're in the situation where they need in-home care for their parents. And because it's so expensive, they can only afford a few hours. And so someone else has to pick up the slack. That means they have a professional come to the house to take care, but they can't afford to keep that person there for many hours. So then they provide some care, they leave, and a family member has to take over. Okay? Okay. So what's up with my camera? Rồi. Okay. When do you normally need long-term care? I want to see some guesses. When do you think you normally need long-term care? Whoops. Give me an age. Throw out an age that you think is when you would need long-term care. Ở tuổi nào là mình thường mình cần cái này đó? Does anyone know? At what age, like at what point in your life do you usually need this? Teresa says 70. Okay. Is no one else going to take a guess? Only Teresa is willing to put it out there? 80? 65? 65? 65? 50? Oh my God. Oh. Jim Rotter says 90. That's because Jim right now is like, Jim, how old are you, Jim? Jim exercises with me every day. So Jim is not your typical old person. He probably does more than a lot of people much younger than him. Jim is now 80. Okay. The bulk of long-term care insurance claims happens after people turn 75. Okay. Only 19% of long-term care insurance claims begin before the age of 75. Yes, very good. Just Go was right. 75. Keep that in mind. A lot of people I talk to feel okay right now. They're healthy right now. It doesn't mean that you will always be that healthy. Okay? In fact, I think I'm not going to give out an exact number, but the last time I looked at the statistics, it was like nearly 70% of people who are now 65, about 70% of those people will need long-term care in the future. Okay, so we're all living longer. Woohoo! We're going to pay for it in many, many ways. Okay. Look at this. Again, full screen so y'all can see, because my old eyes couldn't see it. Okay, look at the percentage of claims and when they happen. So the majority happens after age 75. Okay. Very, very good. So, what's the next question? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's one of those questions that's so hard to answer. So let's take a look at the pros and cons of long-term care insurance. Later, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the difference between long-term care insurance and then long-term care coverage, okay, or assistance, all right? Pro là, I forgot you guys. Pros and cons. One of ưu điểm với là khuyết điểm phải không? Hay là khuyết điểm với là ưu điểm? I forgot which one's good. Anyway, it helps supplement health coverage. Okay, remember, Medicare covers medical issues. It will not, hold on, I have to go full screen for this. Full screen, y'all. Medicare will not pay for long-term care. Health insurance does not pay for long-term care. I talk to a lot of people who are very, very confused about this. Nha, khi mà Leyna nói chuyện về cái tiền bệnh của mình á, I'm not talking about health insurance. Medicare nó không có bao. Okay, quý vị cần đi bác sĩ. You need to go to the doctor? Okay, your health insurance will pay for that. Your Medicare will pay for that. Nhưng, if you, for instance, say had a stroke or a heart attack and now you need help at home, it will not pay for it. That is what we call tiền túi, okay? Out-of-pocket money. If you don't have insurance or another way to pay for it, it will be out-of-pocket money. People go bankrupt all the time because of this. Okie dokie. Oh, the other day someone asked me on YouTube, okie dokie là cái ý nghĩa gì vậy chị? Because I say it so often. It just means okay. Okay. Rồi. Offers long-range financial security. Okay? Very often we are in our retirement years when we need long-term care. So you're living on a fixed income in retirement. That's hard enough. And then suddenly you have to fork over like, thousands of dollars a month, maybe even more. Okay, so there's protection there. And it helps your loved ones. If you wind up in long-term care, okay, having this coverage will help your loved ones, your spouse, your children figure out a way to pay for it. Okay, so gives you peace of mind, right? You've got some money here, should you need it. Cons. Not everyone is eligible. Okay, they don't have to accept you. They don't have to give you a policy. This is something you can't simply just go out and buy. If you have pre-existing conditions, if you're already unhealthy, good luck. Either you're going to pay a lot of money or they're going to say, nope, not going to cover you. The AALTCI estimates that long-term care insurance companies reject nearly half, like 47% of people between 70 and 74. So that means if you think, oh, I'm young, I don't need it, I'm going to wait, they reject nearly half of the applications from people between 70 and 74. Can be expensive. Oh, yes, it can. It can be expensive. And not many companies offer it. Did you know that? Not many companies offer this kind of coverage. There are only 6 insurance companies that offer long-term care insurance. Is there another option? What's the answer, everybody? What's the answer, everybody? Is there another option? Why, yes, there is. Yes, there is. And there are a few people, at least, watching right now who know, who, guess what, already have it. They're young. They're not paying anything extra for it. And they are covered should they get sick. So the option are called accelerated death benefits or living benefits. So when I help people with life insurance, it's not just a death benefit. In fact, the majority of people I talk to don't care about a death benefit. What do they care about? They care about how can their life insurance help them while they're still living. And this is one of the biggest ways. You have protection. Okay, so they're called living benefits. So when people ask me, like if I structure an IUL, oh, does this have long-term care insurance? No, it's not long-term care insurance, but it has long-term care coverage, meaning you have living benefits. You have money at your disposal, okay, if you need that kind of care. Terminal illness. Terminal là bác sĩ nói là không có trị được đó. So depending on the company, if you are told by your doctor you have 12 months or 24 months left to live, that's a terminal illness. And you can accelerate your death benefit. You can take out a lump sum. And you can do whatever you want with it. Maybe you want to take the whole family for a trip around the world because that's what you want to do before you die. Okay? Maybe you want to build a big house for your grandchild. Okay? There was a man who wanted to put a swimming pool into his home. He knew he was going to die. He wanted to create a place where the grandkids always wanted to come over and spend time. They don't care what you use the money for. Critical illness. Critical illness, depending on the carrier, okay, there are triggers. There are certain illnesses where if left untreated, you could die. And so if you're diagnosed with one of those illnesses, like cancer, okay, you would be covered. Chronic illness. When I look at these policies, to me, of those three, chronic illness to me is the most important because it doesn't matter what the disease is. With critical illness, you phải là nó có cái list của nó nha. There's a list. So is your illness on that list? But with chronic illness, maybe you don't even have to be sick. Maybe you got in a really bad accident. So with chronic illness, what they're looking at are the activities of daily living. If you cannot do 2 of the 6, you're considered chronic. Doesn't matter why. Doesn't matter what disease. Okay? That's important. And then the other living benefit, which is so awesome, cash value. Cash value. When you buy insurance, like car insurance, homeowners insurance, long-term care insurance, you pay the monthly premium. And that money is gone. It doesn't matter if you use the coverage or not, it's gone. You are paying for peace of mind. You are paying just in case. Okay? But when I structure an IUL and I tell people, so you've got all of these things and there's cash value. What that means is your policy grows in value and there's cash value in there. So let's say you stay healthy and you never have to accelerate your benefits. If you live long, that's the other problem. Okay? Sickness is one thing. You die too early, that's a problem. If you live too long, that might be a bigger problem. You're going to need money. And so the money that you've been paying into here builds cash value. Okay? You're earning like compound interest. If you don't, you can use the cash for whatever you want. Okay? It's like being rewarded for being healthy. Okay? You never need the sickness protection? Awesome. Use the cash. Use the cash. So that is another one of the living benefits. So let's look at the pros and cons of living benefits. This is really awesome. Okay, some people don't know. I have helped a few people now with term insurance that includes living benefits. Oh my gosh. In case you didn't hear that, I'm going to say it again. Term insurance with living benefits, meaning the sickness protection. Term insurance never has cash value, so you can kiss that goodbye. But not everyone can afford permanent insurance. Okay, so I've helped people get term insurance. Nhưng mà this is not your dad's term insurance, okay? Hồi xưa, term insurance, if you don't die within the term, that's it. It's only good if you die within the term. That's all you can use. That's all you can get out of it. Now, there are carriers that offer terminal and chronic illness and all these illness protections with a term policy, okay? So that's pretty cool. That's awesome. And also, it can be included at no extra cost. So when I do life insurance policies for people, always with these extras at no extra cost. Some carriers charge you a rider fee. Okay, so pay attention to that. I don't want people paying for anything that they don't have to pay for. So if you can get accelerated death benefit, living benefits at no cost, why wouldn't you do that? Because remember, if there's a fee, it's gone. Okay, mình trả cái fee là mất tiền luôn đó. That's it. That's why it's called a fee. Another pro, the money is paid directly to the owner of the policy. It does not have to be paid back. Bet some people didn't know this. For instance, if you buy a policy for someone, you are the owner. Okay, it's insuring that person's life. So to be able to get out the sickness protection money, that person has to be sick. However, it's paid out to the owner, which means, let's say you buy a policy for your mom, and mom gets sick and she needs to get some of that chronic illness protection. The policy will pay you, the owner, and then you use that money and help mom. But that's how it works, okay? Okay. Cons. The amount of the benefit when you're sick is based on the severity of the condition. Okay, how sick are you? The use of the accelerated benefit rider will reduce the death benefit. Repeat. If you use the accelerated death benefit rider, it will reduce your death benefit. It has to come from somewhere. I don't understand how agents can write policies and not explain this to the client. Like, so many of them are surprised when I tell them. And I say, well, the money's got to come from somewhere, right? Your death benefit will go down. That's why it's called accelerated death benefit. Mình lấy trước, ha? Mình bệnh á, mình lấy tiền tử trước để mình xài khi mình đang sống. That's what it is. By the way, tùy cái hãng bảo hiểm, if you do that, sometimes you lose the rest of the death benefit. And then sometimes whatever's left over actually goes to your family. Tùy hãng bảo hiểm nha. Some people don't know that. Okay, you should know that about your company, about your policy. Why is my camera very blurry? Okay. Benefits paid may be taxable. So again, funds inside a life insurance policy, unless it's just the death benefit, okay, may be taxable. That's why the person who is structuring it for you must structure it correctly and must explain everything to you. Okay, I don't know why this. Okay, so that could be a con, but if you go to the right person, if you do it the right way, if you explain everything, it's not going to happen to you, okay? Do I have another slide after this? Oh, so need help, need help, need help, need help. If you need help, there's my email address. Okay, so now let's talk about the difference so that when you talk to someone, you should know. Okay? I always make it a point to explain. This is living benefits, chứ không phải là long-term care insurance nha. Remember, the long-term care insurance is you're paying for coverage in case you get sick, and nó có cái limit của nó. But when you're using it inside a life insurance policy as accelerated death benefit, it's not insurance. You're just accelerating your death benefit. That means, hurry up, give it to me now. I'm not going to wait till I die. I need the money now. Mình lấy ra trước, mình xài khi mình đang sống. And part of that is nếu mà mình không bệnh, if you don't get sick, okay, if you don't get sick, then you can just use you got cash value. That's the other awesome part of it, is the supplemental income. So it's like retirement income for people as they get older, right? Yes. Okie dokie. A few things that you should take into consideration. I don't know why people think no one's going to live forever. No one's going to live forever. And the longer we live, the more likely it is that you're going to need long-term care. Okay, so you need the coverage. Whether you decide to buy it in the form of long-term care insurance or have the protection inside a life insurance policy, you need to do it. So if you do it buying the insurance, it is cheaper if you're younger, but remember that when you pay the premium, it's gone. Just like mình mua bảo hiểm xe, you buy your car insurance, okay? No one hopes that they're going to use it. No one hopes they're going to need it. And if you don't crash your car, well, good for you, but your money's also gone. So long-term care insurance is the same thing. You pay, and if you don't use it, then you don't use it, but you still have to pay the premium. So I like having that coverage included inside a life insurance policy. And you saw how we were taking examples of $19.50 a year for a female, a 60-year-old female, for $165,000 of coverage. Well, when I write life insurance policies that include this, she could actually get so much more coverage and at no extra cost. Okay, so depending on the company, depending on the illness, that will depend on how much money you can actually take out. So if you have a terminal illness, that's very serious, then you can accelerate a lot more of your death benefit. And so, if you compare buying a $165,000 policy versus, having a $900,000 life insurance policy and being able to accelerate sometimes up to 90% of that. Okay? Some carriers they will cap you off. But there's good and bad of everything. So you need to figure out which one is better for you. Okay? Oh, here's my mom. Hello, con gái. Hi, Ma. She's watching from Đông Hà, Việt Nam right now. So say hi to my mom, everybody. Hi, Mom. Okay. Rồi đó, thì nó như vậy đó. Nhớ nha, long-term care insurance là khác với accelerated death benefit hoặc là living benefits. Okay? Theo Leyna đó, Leyna sẽ không có mua cái long-term care insurance because it is expensive. And nếu mà mình mua mà mình không xài, tiền cũng đã đi rồi. Nhưng mà if you have that kind of protection inside a life insurance policy, một, there's no extra cost. Hai, if I need it, I'm probably going to get more in benefits. And ba, if I don't need it, I got cash. Như vậy là cái tiền mà mình đóng hàng tháng nó không có bay mất. You know what I mean? Mình ăn tiền lời. Mình giữ được tiền cash. Okay? So those are two big differences for me. But know the difference between long-term care insurance. So like when I train my new agents, I tell them, make sure you tell them this is not long-term care insurance. It's different. But it still provides you money you need should you get sick. And just personally, I prefer living benefits inside a life insurance policy. I prefer having more coverage if I need it, and I prefer having cash if I don't need it. Like if I didn't need the sickness protection, then all the money, the premium that I paid into the life insurance policy has been building cash value. Okay, so reward me if I stay healthy. Reward me if I live long. Phải không? Reward yourself. So those are the two differences. Again, only about 6 insurance companies offer long-term care insurance. You need to shop around if you're going to do that. But you also have other options. At no extra cost to you, you could get a lot more and still protect yourself. Just in case we need it. So, life insurance is cheaper for women. Why? Because we live longer. Long-term care insurance is more expensive for women. Why? Because we live longer. Okay, so remember those two things. All right. Did you enjoy that? Do you feel like you have more knowledge now? Okay. Do you feel that you have more knowledge now? Also, by the way, there have been agents who are using fear to pressure people into buying life insurance with this long-term care thing. Okay? It's not right. So I want everyone to know there is no deadline. California lawmakers are looking at a law that's very much similar to what Washington has gone through, where if you do not have long-term care coverage, you will be taxed. And then you'll be put into the government program. Doesn't that sound great? So they're looking at that, but there is no deadline. So if you have an agent who's telling you, you better do this before January 1, 2024, there's no deadline right now. In fact, when there is, I will tell you. Nhưng mà there is no deadline. Never buy anything or sign any contract if anyone is pressuring you and telling you, hurry up and do this. I've spoken with people who were told there's a sale. What? Yeah. A very big company. If I named this company, you'd be, I bet you 99% of you have heard of this insurance carrier. And there are agents who work with this carrier who tell people, for this month, we're running a special. There is a discount, but you must sign up by this. That is like illegal. And then some of them promise that if you sign up, you're going to get some of your premium money back. That's also illegal. Okay? There's no money back. There's no rebate. There's no discount. The only discount you get is if I put in an application for you and your records come back even better than we thought. They give you a better health rating. Therefore, your cost of insurance is lower. Other than that, quý vị ơi, No such thing as a sale with life insurance. No such thing as a discount that an agent can give you for life insurance. Right now, no such thing as a deadline for you to hurry up and buy some sort of long-term care coverage. Okay? Now, just because there's no deadline doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking at it, right? So do it when there's no deadline. If you know anyone who lives in the state of Washington, ask them how that went up there. It was, can I say it? Can I say it? Some people say it was an S show. Michael, I know you understand. People had to hurry, then everyone had to jam and get long-term care coverage. Do not buy in a situation like that. It is the worst. It is the worst situation as a buyer to be in. Okay. Carriers suddenly will not be as understanding with underwriting when it's in a situation where everyone and their mama is trying to get coverage. Okay, ball is not in your court when you're in that kind of situation. Nên những người trên Washington gặp trở ngại đó đó. Okay, trên đó là họ đã require mình phải có long-term care coverage. They're not requiring long-term care insurance. They're requiring long-term care coverage. And that means if you get into a life insurance policy that includes it, or you can buy it, you're covered. Because I don't think anyone wants to pay a tax and be included in the government program. Name one government program. Name one government program that's awesome, right? Sorry, there just isn't. And I wanted to share with you this. This is what I was starting to say. Take a look at it now, because according to the AALTCI, American Association of Long-Term Care Insurance, the cost of long-term care is expected to go up. Hold on, I'm looking it up right here. This is according to them. Okay, go up 330% to over. Let me share my screen now. Gosh, really? Yeah. If you hear the numbers, you're going to be like, okay, I have to share my screen. Share now. Share screen. Right here. Okay. Annual cost of long-term care is expected to increase over 330% to over $300,000 a year for a home care aide, and even more for a nursing home or assisted living facility. 330% in the next 30 years. So the cost is going to go up. And if you don't have the money, you will either be a big burden on your children, or you're going to be stuck in a facility that's not nice. Okay, not nice. Someone is asking, what is index universal life insurance, pros and cons? I actually did a long time ago. Leyna, oh, I love your name. I will have to do a different video on that. So, but index universal life is an IUL. That's what I've been talking about. IUL. So we will talk about that in another video. And here's another thing. Gosh, I wish people would actually do some research. You know how people, they'll see something online or they'll see something on YouTube, and then they feel empowered that they have some sort of information, and then they present it as fact, or they present themselves as an expert on something. I'm being very nice right now. One day I will do a video on the cost of an IUL, because people don't understand how to actually look at them. And they say, oh, an IUL is so expensive. But they don't know what to look at. You know what else is expensive and people don't even know it? Most people have no idea if or what they're paying in fees for their 401k at work. So many people I talk to, and I start asking about fees, you know what they say? Oh, there are no fees. I said, yes, there are. No, they're not. There are. And they'll sit there and they'll argue with me. Ladies and gentlemen, there are fees to your 401k. You just don't know about it. You just contribute because that's what everyone else does. Some of you don't even know how much you're contributing. Some of you have no idea where the money's going. Some of you think there are no fees. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? No, there are fees. So you need to look at those fees. Here's another thing people don't know how to look at. When there is a percentage, a fee that is a percent of something, like a percentage of your assets, like a 401k, and there may be a fee that's a percentage, you know, from 1 to 2%. But you also need to know, like, how often. Okay, is it 1% a month? Is it 1% a year? Is it on the principal? Is it on the whole thing? No one knows because you didn't ask. Okay? Those are things we need to find out about. Okay. That's it. That is tonight's Money Monday. Think about it. Whether it's for yourself or your parents, it is time to really think about it before it's too late. If you wait till you get sick, you're going to have to pay more money. And if you wait until that sickness gets worse, you're not going to get covered. You're not going to get covered. I, unfortunately, today learned that one of my clients got denied. And I think in all the time that I've done this, there have only been, I think, two or three other people who've been declined. Because they had all these illnesses they didn't even tell me about. But, you know, for some of them, it's like, oh, gosh, you know, had you just done this a few months ago, you'd be okay. Mỗi lần quý vị đi bác sĩ nha, you have to be careful. Mình có, of course, if you need help, you have to tell them. Nhưng mà mình phải be careful những cái lời mà mình khai với bác sĩ đó, because they write it down. It goes into your record. It's there for good. I've helped a lot of Vietnamese people who không có bệnh, nhưng mà they go to their doctor friend and they have their doctor friend write a prescription so that they can bring the medication to help someone else, help someone in Vietnam. Listen, I get it. A lot of people do it. It's on your record. I have people who tell me, oh yeah, I have this medication, but I didn't take any. Do you think the insurance company is just going to take your word for it that you didn't take any? And then she's like, well, here, look, I've got pictures. Do you think the insurance company has the time to look at someone's pictures to see if those are the pills that came in that bottle? No. If you're prescribed something by the doctor and you fill that prescription, cái đó kể là mình uống thuốc. Whether or not you actually did, It's on your record that you took it. Another thing, oh, I didn't take it, but I kept on refilling it. Why? Because you wanted to save the medication in case you need it. Well, it's on your record. It's on your record, okay? And one of the things that you really have to be careful about, nhất là những người mà bị tai nạn xe, okay? So now you're in a personal injury case. And you're told by your lawyer probably, get as much care as possible. And tự nhiên mình đau cái này, đau cái kia. And then to prescribe uống thuốc này, thuốc kia, because you're raising up your medical bills. Now, all of that stays on your record. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's going to affect you down the road, okay? Sometimes people get in situations where sometimes there's a lawsuit, sometimes there's something else going on, and they see a therapist, and therapist wants to prescribe them all of these drugs that they don't take, that they don't need, and it's on your record. And some of those drugs raise big red flags for the insurance company. Okay, so I know that throughout life you go through these situations. People go through tough times. If you need the medication, yes, take it. But don't accept a prescription, don't fill a prescription unless you actually need it. That stays on your record. And when those prescriptions are for things that are hard to prove, like antidepressants, okay? Nhiều người sometimes họ bị involved trong cái lawsuit, rồi họ bác sĩ là sẽ là prescribe antidepressant, thuốc này thuốc kia, đủ loại thuốc luôn, cứ là fill hết nhưng mà không uống. And then they say, oh, I didn't take any because I didn't like the way it made me feel. And so, but they refilled it, or they got another one. So be careful, okay? Be honest, but be careful, because that will stay on your record, okay? And then, for instance, if let's say you, there's a medicine for diabetes on your record, but you say, oh, that's a mistake, I didn't take that, or I took it for something else, they can find out through labs. Nhưng mà when that medication is antidepressants, and you say that, that's very hard to prove anything. It's very hard to prove that you're healthy, that you don't need it, because your doctor prescribed it for you, and you filled it, and then you refilled it. So, you know, I try to help people. They say, oh, nhưng mà tôi không uống, nhưng mà they don't care. Mình refill kể là mình uống rồi nha. So please keep that in mind. Hello, Lynn. Oh, Lynn, thanks for the info. Very helpful. You're welcome. Okay, everybody. So remember, let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of our families. Okay? And if you need help, you know you can email me. Do my best for you. And let's get a little music in here. Oh, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Look at this right here, 7 o'clock. I made some bread pudding tonight. I made bread pudding, y'all. I'm gonna go try some right now. Hope you have a great night. If you need help, please email me. And I will see you Thursday for an English lesson. Have a great day in Vietnam and a great night everywhere else. Take care, everyone. Bye. See you next